One sentence. That's all it took to blow up Julian Alvarez's future. Pay attention to this.
Creo que no es momento para hablar de esto, pero tampoco puedo esconderme ni hacerme el otro. La verdad trato de ser una persona honesta y yo hablé con la gente del club, con los que tenía que hablar y creo que lo mejor para todos es una transferencia y quiero cumplir mi sueño.
He told the world he wants out of Atletico Madrid, but Atletico said he's not going anywhere.
Saying pay the 500 million euros release clause or there's no deal. Barcelona are waiting to bid again if the ability arises to do business with Atletico Madrid, and Atleti have been firm privately and publicly.
Barcelona already had two offers rejected. The first was around 100 million. Atletico quickly answered no, and they didn't just say no quietly.
Atleti responded, get ready, there is no amount of money to which Barca can buy Julian. He will not be transferred to Barcelona. Either they pay the release clause, 500 million euros, or there is no deal.
They went public, accusing Barcelona of running a pressure campaign to push Alvarez out the door. But now there's another shark entering in his deal.
But if Atleti decide they're more inclined to sell outside of La Liga rather than within it, then Arsenal are prepared to move.
And in the middle of this, nobody even knows where Julian Alvarez is. There's even a journalist tracking cameras across Spain, trying to figure out where he is. But Alvarez already said he wants Barcelona, that he wants to fulfill his dream. And if you think about it, he can fit perfectly in Hansi Flick's team.
I think the fit is as close as perfect for Julian Alvarez and Barcelona. He is a profile of player that can lead the line, but can also play underneath. Because when he decides to go and play underneath, then you have the ability of Rafinha to run beyond Julian Alvarez. You want Rafinha to be a runner anyways. That's what he likes to do and have the freedom to get in behind. He can do that when Julian Alvarez comes and shows for the ball.
Right now, Julian is locked in Atletico Madrid. But what will happen if they don't sell him this summer? I believe we all want this move to happen. Imagine Alvarez playing alongside Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Pedri. At this moment, he looks like Julian Schofield in Prison Break. But we have to first understand what is happening in the background. Let's start with a moment that changed everything. Mid-tournament, with Argentina still alive in the World Cup, Alvarez was asked directly about his future, and he didn't hide. He said the transfer was best for both parties, and that made this whole thing even more difficult. He applied pressure on the biggest stage in football, in front of the biggest audience of his career. Now flip to the other side of this, because Atletico haven't blinked once. Back in the spring, Atletico's president was already being pressed on this exact question.
At the same time, the answer from Atletico Madrid president Cerezo is Laporta is my good friend, we are good friends, but Laporta already knows where Julian Alvarez will play next season.
And that is not the language of a club preparing to sell. So how does Barcelona respond to a wall like this? According to Diario Sport, Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, met directly with Alvarez's agent to plan what's being called their final attempt. And here's the funny part, this meeting was private, and Barcelona have learned something from the backlash of the first statement. They thought that going public would make Athletic move an inch, and now they are trying to play smart and make this deal in the background. Alright, quick pause. If you are finding this interesting so far, just smash the like button. It only takes 2 seconds and it actually helps a lot. And subscribe if you are not already. So let's keep going. Now here's the part a lot of people are missing. Why does it have to be Julian Alvarez? Barcelona just lost Robert Lewandowski, and that leaves a hole at the striker position. A hole that Hansi Flick has been trying to solve with rotation and false nine setups. Alvarez isn't just a good striker who's available, and he fits the role Flick wants. He's mobile, intelligent and comfortable dropping deep. He's a genuine goal threat, and with Ferran Torres leaving to Paris Saint-Germain makes it even more clear to chase Alvarez. If Barcelona don't get him, they enter the season still without a long-term Lewandowski replacement. So right now they are both stuck in the middle of it. So what do you think is going to happen to Alvarez? Because for me, this is very painful. He didn't ask to be in the center of a transfer war, but by saying what he said, it became that way. But here's where it gets uncomfortable, because every day this drags on, it gets worse for someone. If Alvarez stays days and Barcelona walk away, Atletico now have a striker who told the entire football world that he wants to leave, walking into a dressing room, a fan base and a manager who all know it. But I believe nobody wins this by dragging it to September. So where does this actually go from here? Atletico can win this battle in short term, but they cannot win it forever, cause Julian wants to leave, that is clear. So that leaves to two choices. They can cash it now at a good price, or risk losing the player forever. But here's a twist. Julian Alvarez has 4 years left in the contract, that only ends in June 2030. And if you see by Atletico's side, this is a player with 4 years still on the books. And so for me, this became the telenovela. That's a man begging to leave a marriage he signed himself into. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And tell me what you think is going to happen with Julian Alvarez. And I'll see you in the next one. Follow for more.